All right, it's been brought to my attention from my last stream that I may need to curse a little less. Turns out I actually do know other adjectives than just fuck. Fuck's just a really good one, you know? All right, so let's get this up and running here. We're going to do traffic server, getting that started. I actually don't need the visualizer right now. You guys already saw that. It's pretty cool. So we'll get the game up and running here. And before we connect, let's double check ourselves. Still loading. It's okay. So anyway, what we're looking for here is errors in the track. So earlier we saw landscape overlap at chunk 196. So what that means I'll have to do, while this is loading, I can show you that anyway, is I go over here to our track edit, which takes a second, because again, it's 8,000 chunks, 6,600 and some odd kilometers across the fine United States. So that's a lot of data to load. So we'll go over here to 196, teleport over there. Let's draw the landscape in. That'll take a second. And let's look for that overlap. It's probably what we're seeing right there, huh? Yeah. So I just like to verify in the data that we're getting an overlap. More than likely what happened here is the system that's building all of this probably had a rate timeout somewhere along the way, which caused an interruption in its flow. And somewhere in the path, this chunk got missed. Maybe I paused here. Who knows? Hard to say. Not the end of the world. We will figure it out. We'll narrow it down. The first thing I'll have to do is rerun the track making process for this area of the track. So we'll do like 150 through 250, do 100 chunks just to make sure that it's nice and evened out. Let's drive along here real quick and see. Doesn't look like we've got any other chunk or landscape issues here. So now we go down here to the game. And we can check it out. Just by driving it. Now, you'll notice right now, there's only like 300 cars the whole length of the country. But that does go up exponentially. Our frames per second stays at a nice, cool and crispy 240 up there for most of our trip. We might see it drop down a little bit here and there when we're in high volume prop areas, forests and cities where there's a lot of stuff in the landscape. Oh wow, yeah. So I put in a looking mechanism, but it's not quite right. And again, people will use that to say, see, AI doesn't code right. But what that is a failure of communicating. It's doing a loop around so that I can always kind of be looking forward while I'm driving. Problem with that, of course, is when I'm not driving, can be a little bit hectic. There you go, get some weird flipping going on. That's fine. It'll still allow me to look over here at the track and the landscape and whatever. I don't really need it to drive. Now, the only downside, of course, to having 6,000 kilometers of track to race on is that I have 6,000 kilometers of track to debug, which is a lot. It is a lot. And I'm going to have to do some kind of save system next for the free roam mode where, I don't know, I'm thinking about putting gas stations in, just like every, few hundred chunks or whatever. Have little spots where you can pull off and stop at a gas station, save your game and your location. And that way, because nobody's going to do the whole drive in one sitting. I mean, somebody might, but it's unlikely. So, excuse me. Got to have a way to incrementally traverse the country here. So, because even at 478 kilometers an hour, yeah, see a lot of trees. We're at 136 on the frames per second now. That's a bug, but I'll fix it. Somewhere in our rendering, we're going a little harder than we need to, maybe. Where was I? Oh yeah, saving system, so you can incrementally cross the country, saving your position as you go. That'll also be beneficial for me in debugging, because then I can go gas station to gas station and verify that the track and the landscapes are not in error. If you look over here to the left, shows you we're loading a landscape in a city right now. So we should see, or land and city. So we should see like some trees and some buildings. The buildings are placeholders right now. They're part of a previous aesthetic I was going for. I've decided to go for a low poly look instead, for a few reasons. One, goddamn, I really need to fix the AI. No wonder I always win when I race. One, making the assets for the props in a way that looked good and fit the aesthetic the way I wanted it to wasn't it was more time consuming than I was willing to spend on it, considering the scope and size of the project. So I can either A, use pre-made assets, or I can spend a year building each and individual model by myself. And for me, the purpose of the project is to build a fully playable multiplayer racing game for people to enjoy by myself. If I want to accomplish that, I have to decide on either hiring artists to make those models for me, or using pre-made models that I've already purchased and own the rights to. Now, if I were a rich man, had some millions, maybe I'd hire some artists, but I'm not, and I don't. I work for an hourly rate like most of you, so I'm going with what I got. It makes the most sense. And to be fair, the previous art direction I was going with, as you can kind of see by the landscape, is sort of the last remnant of that. It doesn't look bad with this low poly scene, so I'll probably keep that. But I like that the trees are discernible, whereas before they would have all looked pretty much the same. When it comes time to doing the desert biomes, the cactuses and cacti that I've got will be much nicer than what I would have made on my own So it's one of those things. Like back in the day, you'd have an artistic vision for a game, and then you'd find out that your artistic vision far outweighed the hardware capabilities of the console or machines you were working with. So you had to make some compromises there to make it all work. And it's similar here. It's not so much a matter of hardware limitations as much as the limitation of time and energy that I both have and I'm willing to dedicate to it to complete the whole scope of the project. Because again, this kind of thing, while not as advanced as something like Unreal Engine, right? Still, in the past, would have taken a team, of tens to maybe hundreds, who knows, to complete, and I'm able to do it by myself. And in terms of overall project, what I'd like it to be when it's finished, we're close to halfway there. I mean, the single player experience, short of things like what we're doing now, which is just like play and verify, is pretty well complete. I have an error somewhere in our race management system that I have to dig out that's keeping us from racing. I'm not sure what happened there. I think that there was something that I built and I forgot to save, essentially, and then I reverted some changes that I made to other files, and I think I lost the features that I'd implemented. So I really just need to go back and re-implement those. And then for the most part, the single player version of this game will be finished. I haven't looked up how many people it took to build F-Zero on Nintendo 64. But I've spent less than $1,000 in the last year on AI tokens and whatnot. So compared to what I've seen some people spending on this shit, people are up $20,000 a month and whatnot on Claude Code fucking tokens. That seems asinine to me. But Nintendo 64 games cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars to make. I've probably spent less than $25 or $30 on this particular project. I mean, most of my tokens have gone to this other project coming up, this Forbidden Protocol. Which is like a cyberpunk trading card game where you have true digital ownership of your cards and can actually trade with one another, which I think is pretty cool. And that's about ready to be launched for beta. We'll see more of that on the channel as we go on here, but right now, just this project alone, I haven't spent that much money on. And I spent my weekends on this. This is what I work on the weekends. I'm blessed to have a job that, at the moment at least, is slow enough that I'm able to pull my laptop up and work on my projects, and the bosses aren't on my ass about it. They're interested. So I work on Forbidden Protocol at work, and I work on this on my weekends. And considering it's a weekend project, one guy is doing, I think it's coming out pretty good. I think it's turning out pretty damn cool. Like I said, there are some bugs, and that's what I'm looking for right now is, where are these bugs at? So I already know that in the 95 to like 110 range, we have some weird glitches with start and finish lines and whatever those black lines that we crossed are. But those are in the rendering of everything. So that's not the scope of errors that I'm looking for right now. The scope of error that we're looking for right now is A, what's a good number? Right now we're seeing 16 to 19,000 cars are on the road right now, right? 20,000 cars. Um, how many is too many to make it fun to play, and how many is too little? And then we're also looking to see, where are these landscape anomalies, places where landscapes aren't lining up right, or I have these weird phantom landscapes that pop up, or they're phantom roads. I don't know which, but we'll be on the road and there'll be an incline, sharp incline and sharp decline right after one another. And you'll just drive off into space, but you'll continue on that incline until all of a sudden it peaks and you start going down. And every time you somehow manage to show up at another decline that's at the same grade that you've been moving through space, which to me sounds like we have this weird invisible road that we're on that goes up and then down. And it's not being rendered, so it just looks invisible. And we're looking for those. Now, so far, it's not until about 196 that we see that geography error, the landscape error. And I've logged that. So we'll keep cruising for a little bit here. I don't know if I'll get much farther than that. Today I got to start heading out to work soon, but the goal now is to fine tune the track generation and then, actually drive it. It's one thing to look at it on the map editor. Well, I don't know why they do that. Every time they go towards the other car, it's inevitable. I got to fix the AI. But once the track is actually verified, because like I said, driving through it on the track editor at high speed while it's basically in super, super low poly does not show you those kinds of errors all the time. Now, to be fair, I haven't seen that weird Phantom Hill error too many times. I came across it once when I was doing a test drive on autopilot, somewhere in the 300, 350 mark area, but I honestly don't remember. So the goal today was to get up to there, and then I had to go run and do a quick little errand and chore, and well, I'm not going to get there today, but that's okay. Still going to get close, and I still want to go check out that landscape anomaly at 196, and there's also a offshoot of the track somewhere around 200 also, that I haven't looked at since traffic came into play, and it's a little bit of a spaghetti bowl twisty turn sort of thing, so I want to look at how the traffic is handling that, especially now that we do have 20,000 cars on the road. But you'll notice that when we're in the forested areas, there are less cars because population densities matter. So once we start getting closer to a city, we just saw that went into land and city. God damn. It starts getting more dense, more populated. And I do have better models for these vehicles for traffic coming up. And different vehicles will behave a little differently. Police and ambulance will have an on and off switch where they'll randomly go into emergency mode and you'll see them take off. They'll go as fast as you do, whereas most traffic doesn't. And minivans will drive like slow grandpas and soccer moms with cars full of kids. Sports car will haul ass. Maybe it'll go as fast as you, but not as fast as you on full blast. like when you're nitrosing. And the traffic server, since it tracks the players so well, I think is going to be the foundation of our actual multiplayer system as well. Um, though I have to do a lot more research on how to scale that because shit, that'll be expensive. It's going to require like load balancing and elastic cache containers. Definitely some like Redis or some kind of task management. I don't know. Working on the card game has I've been learning a lot about large scale network configurations and building systems that can scale to 10,000 players, 100,000 players, things like that. And it's not easy. And I will say this, it would be it would be easier if I was a professional in those realms. Because I am oh my god, traffic is so bad right now. Because I am a pretty well experienced amateur computer scientist engineer. I don't know. I've been computer programming and working in Unreal Engine and building and designing my own computer setups since I was a kid. So I'm not entirely in the dark on what I'm doing here, but as far as like some of the newer systems and methods for accomplishing things, I'm really still a novice, but I have enough pro to amateur knowledge of ideas and theory that I can be a bit of a perfectionist with it. So I'm working to not only build a system that can scale to 100,000 players, but also a system that's secure for 100,000 players to use. And that's requiring me to not just use AI, but also to learn what the AI is doing and to understand it, because there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of independent parts to that project, and learning to make them work all in unison under like a single server was a challenge. And then realizing that a single server was not going to be able to scale to, honestly, with the with the way the game works, that wasn't going to scale to 10 to 20 players. We needed to scale right away to even be able to accommodate a few players. So that's what we started to do. And for something like this, it's going to need a lot of those same systems. Thankfully, there's less moving parts in this than that. Here we just kind of have a client server set up. Okay, that anomaly is at 192. Kind of like this weird little oh wow, okay. I see what's going on. All right. So the space that I wanted to see how traffic was handling, that's this spot right here. And that explains entirely why we have that landscape anomaly, because a road goes over top of the other road for quite a while, and both sets of road have landscape. So I need to figure out a way to basically say, like, if a road is this close to another road, then they share this landscape or something like that. But that's why we're driving it, to see how it looks. and to kind of clean it up. Now that space at 192 there, that little offshoot, you noticed, I'm sure, there's a lot of jagged edges and looks like a couple of walls come into the track and track lays over track. It's not totally cleaned up yet. It will be. But again, it all comes down to David's balls. You know, they didn't start shiny. Oh fuck me, I didn't see that coming. So right now we're just chunking it out. We're taking notes along the way. Like I'm sure you've noticed where the lines do kind of weird shit on the road sometimes. The white line and the yellow line kind of flicker. That's got to do with the way the poly line that builds the track is. No, we're gonna have to smooth that out. And smoothing that out, I think, is also going to smooth out a lot of that track at 192, because a lot of what's going on there at 192 is the way that those lines are. Basically built out of little dots, little data points. So, but again, that's polish. Right now, we need to make sure we can drive from one side of the country to the other. And it looks like our actual biome. Oh, yeah, there it is. Biome is forest right now. Which doesn't look right. Error there. Because this biome we're in right now is brown, which is scrub. Now it says water. And I think a lot of that has to do with that, the same error at 192, where that landmass anomaly happens. The way that we're counting chunks and pulling that data, I think gets a little confused there, because things are going fine up until that point. And that's fine. We'll make a note of it. Just keep on driving. All right, so you know that right there is something different. This is where two chunks come together. Come over here, get out of the way, get out of traffic a little. This is where two chunks come together. Now you see on that shit. I gotta fix the look. Ah, that's annoying as fuck. Oh, that's really annoying. It almost works. Again, this is a failure to communicate. I told it I wanted to look up and down and around. We're going to fix that right now. What chunk is this? 227. Okay. And then we're going to say that look function is almost there, but it needs to be smooth. There's a weird snapping effect at 90 degrees that makes it utterly unusable. And it's going to be all like, okay, no problem. Thanks for clarifying what you wanted. I'm going to tackle this in a clear and concise way that doesn't make you feel like an idiot. ChatGPT's personality these days makes me fucking hard to use, honestly. Oh, damn, that was enough of crack in case anybody couldn't tell. Fuck me. All right, analyzing blah blah blah. 100 degrees. You see, I love this thinking shit. Or even at low reasoning, it's only using one credit. That's fine. I don't mind. Fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it. Oh, fixing it, fixing it, fixing it. Your fucking wish is my command, master. I'm a genie. I'm in the bottle. You can't take me out. All the naysayers can get fucked. Said I wasn't going to say the F word as much, not I wouldn't say it at all. Oh yeah, we rebuilding, baby. We rebuilding. Ah, fuck. All right, now we go to free roaming. Ah, there's so much traffic. I haven't turned that server off. There we go. Nice and smooth. Camera works like every other camera in every other game in America. Let's see if it helps. Oh my God, so much traffic. So we can safely say that we're going to tone down the traffic. We're going to have to put a cap on how much traffic it generates. I love that it's got so much traffic going that it does. Like, I think that's awesome. And I love that it's keeping track of everybody and where everybody's at. And it's working like it's supposed to. But, damn. All right. Anyway, that's the stream. I'm going to real work. Nobody's paying me to do this shit yet.